So a while back I made a video on these counterfeit Shimano chains, and so I had a few questions. Folks asked a little more, wanted a little more articulate separation of what was the real one and the fake one. So that's why I made this video. But main thing is I wanted to actually put one on my bike and test it out. So I got on Amazon and ordered the cheapest one I could find, and thought it was going to be fake one. Lo and behold, I got it, and it was a real one. So eventually, later on, a customer came and dropped off a fake HG 901 chain, which is this guy right here. So I traded him for the new chain that I got, and so I put the HG 901 on my bike. So let's just let's dig into the differences a little bit first. All right, so we got the real Shimano. This is, in this case, is a CNHG 701-11. It's 11 speed. The fake bits here are a CNHG 901 11 speed. That one's supposed to be Ultegra Dior XT. This one claims to be a Dura-Ace XTR, but fake, real. Look at the text. You see the difference? Real 901 is going to have these will be all silver as well. But, the back, the text is different. That's not the main thing. Let's look at the actual bits and get into the bits and pieces here. So this is our real side, and this is our fake side. Obviously, if this was a real HG 901 chain, you would see that the pins would be hollow instead of solid. Let's just take a quick look at the real Shimano chain. And you got text on one side. You kind of go through, there's some markings. I don't think there's any really rhyme or reason to the text that's on there, other than I would say the main thing is going to be the actual, you look at the cuts on the chain, like these little, see if we can get this in focus here, the cuts. See that little edge there on the bottom? We flip this guy over, see how it's different? You get a longer cut there, shorter cut on the top side, short, long. Okay, this is the real chain, front side with the text, back side no text. It's different. Look at these fake ones. This is, other than, it's pretty apparent just looking at, it's not very flat. It's kind of, you can see some deformation, but the main thing is if you look at the back side, it's the same on both sides. So if I look at I'm just going to compare the real and the fake on the back side here. And can you see the difference in the cuts there? These are all the same, these are different. This is the real chain, this is the fake chain. And then, so the inner plates on the fake chain look like this. Inner plate, inner plate. This is where the roller is going to go. Fake, real. Then on your outer plates, So that's a real outer plate there. This is the fake. You see how the differences are there? There's a difference. So this is a brand new section of Shimano chain. It's the HG701. And so I'm just taking some random measurements here, not just in one spot, but kind of a few spots with my KMC digital chain checker, which is, it's about 4 inches and it's measuring in millimeters. So you can see there's a couple differences. So I decided to check a few other bikes. This is a new bike that was on our sales floor. It's a KMC chain, and it was 0.26, 0.26 again. So this is what you would kind of expect on a brand new chain. You kind of want it to be in that lower numbers. 0.29. So pretty much anything below 0.60 is good. Once you get to 0.60 to 0.80 on this thing, that's measuring, again, in a 4-inch segment in millimeters. So this is the counterfeit chain. I put it on my bike and just immediately it fell pretty sloppy, so I decided to just take some measurements right out of the box. 0.49, 0.50, something like that. 0.54. And it seemed like it was a little bit kind of all over the range. And here we're getting it up 0.61. Usually at 0.60 to 0.80, that's when we suggest a new chain to somebody. So this is straight out of the box. And then 0.50, a little bit further downstream. So to me, that tells me the tolerances are a little wacky. And then when you get it, as I said before, you get it in that cross chain area, gets, that's when it really gets noisy. So 150 miles or so later, now we're measuring it. I just put this on there. The first measurement I got was 0.68. So it's not looking good. And I just kind of measured, same thing, measured a few random spots here, but just my riding around on it, honestly, wasn't horrible. It rode, it shifted a little slower than normal. You get it in the cross chain areas, and it sounded pretty rough. But it's like in some places it was at a point where it's beyond the point where I would suggest a new chain to somebody, and so I just decided to take it off at that point after about 150 miles. I didn't want to ruin my cassette or chain ring, so the lower chain there is the counterfeit chain. The one above is the one I had on my bike before that had probably 2,000 or 3,000 miles on it. And you can just see how much additional side play there is, and it felt really wimbly and loose. Just holding it by hand there. As far as riding the bike, it wasn't a huge deal, but I'm just saying it's, and then another thing, the front side looked pretty decent, but when I flipped it over, I noticed the back side really looked corroded, pretty rusty, and, I don't know what kind of treatment or whatever they're putting on these links. I never lubed the chain. I never rode in the rain or any harsh conditions. I just took it straight out of the box and bolted it onto my bike, and 150, I would estimate 150 to 170 miles. It's not a really long time, but that's for this chain to degrade that quickly, and then it was really loose feeling, a lot of slack between the rollers and the side plates, and it got worse pretty quickly. So I would say if you just have a really bagged out drivetrain and you want something to just get you by and you want to get something cheap, this would be a good option. But if you have a $10,000+ Dura-Ace bike and you're trying to save a couple bucks to get a new chain, you're not wise to get this chain. So anyway, this is one experiment I did. I'm currently involved in another experiment, which I'll post another video later, but shouldn't work, but it feels like it's working great. See you guys next time. Thanks for watching. See you soon.